Hey, welcome back to That 70s Card Show. My name is John Keating, and I thank you for joining me as I take a look back at the cards and the culture of the very colorful 1970s. We'll revisit a more simple time in our hobby by taking a deep dive into the sets and the stats with a generous amount of dad facts sprinkled in. That 70s Card Show is currently sponsored by nobody. If you have a comment or suggestion, I urge you to drop me a line at that70scardShow at gmail.com. That 70s Card Show on YouTube or 70s Card on Twitter. This is an unsanctioned episode of That 70s Card Show, meaning we will not assign a chronological number to this. I've been away for a little while, and away, I mean away from the content creation end of things. I've been very active collecting. I've been very active talking to other people on their shows, and for that I am grateful. Kind of winding down for the year. Now, when I was traveling this year, especially the beginning and the middle of 4Q, as they say, bopping around, I said to myself, I cannot wait till December. I can spit out a show every dang day. But guess what? I lied to myself, and subsequently, I will have lied to you folks out there listening. So here I am in December saying, boy, I have a lot of catch up to do with my uh, collection. Okay. A lot of sorting and stuff like that. A lot of cleaning up of the basement. It may look sort of okay behind me, but around the corner, there is a mass of cards in various states of onboarding into my collection or processing, as they would say. So here I am, December, thinking of all the reasons why I really can't do a show right now. So here I am saying I have to do my show, and I'm doing my show. Just to let you know, I do have some wonderful things planned for the very near future for the show. We're on the cusp of episodes 70 through 79. And Miss Cleo tells me that those are my numbers. So I'm looking forward to that. I have some things planned. I am somebody who, boy, I'm going to go deep here. I'm somebody who has always appreciated and admired the creative process and the people that create content or create art or create music, whatnot. So my own problem is that I get in my own way of actually executing some of those plans. So I've always been, by my line of work, I'm surrounded by creative people. I'm supposed to be a technical person. So I execute things. And sometimes it's hard to execute my own ideas because I get in the way of that. But my lack of creativity has led me to working around creative people. I've married a creative person, and it's kind of a nice little symbiosis. But with that said, again, I get in my own way. So grand plans, sometimes they don't come to fruition, but I do have some plans for episodes 70 through 79. Got to execute, John. I'll write it. I'll write that down. Execution. So away we go into the end of year kind of recap here. Last year, I had a hit list drawn up of cards that I wanted to gather, and I was able to knock out 13 out of 14 of those cards. This year, 2022, as far as my hit list goes, boy, you could call it a disappointment, but my collecting in 2022 was far from disappointing. And not that the Brinks truck didn't back up to my house and throw a bunch of cards into my hillbilly vault that I have, but it was very, very fruitful and very satisfying the way and what I collected this year. And I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about that, talk a little bit about the hobby in general, and probably talk about where I'm going to go next year as far as my collecting. So 2022, 13 out of 14 in 2021. 2022, I drew up a simple list with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards on it that I had to get, right? Should not have been a problem. Piece of cake. all that fun stuff. Turns out I missed on 7 of those 9 cards. So probably because I changed my goals a little bit throughout the year. 68 bench was card on the list, and then the 58 tops Hank Aaron, 53 tops Mays, 53 tops Jackie Robinson, 54 Bowman Ted Williams, 54 tops Jackie Robinson, 54 Ted Williams 1 and 250, and the 54 tops Ernie Banks, a rookie card. So the only ones I were able to land there were the 58 Aaron and the 68 bench. I got the 58 Aaron at Burbank Sports Cards, possibly at the end of 2021, I forget. And the 68 bench I got at the National this year, ungraded, raw, and riding dirty. So, but I don't consider that a disappointment because I was able to knock out 5 sets this year. 68, 69, 70, 72, and 79. 79 was kind of a circling back and righting the wrongs of my handwriting on the checklists and team cards from back in 79. I pulled most of my 79 cards directly out of a pack back in the day, or multiple packs, I guess. Maybe there have been some cards floating in and out of there, gotten lost to history, but for the most part, that set, as a couple of my sets are from the 70s, are primarily hand pulled by me back in the day. So 79 done. 72, obviously a monster of a set. Love it or hate it, I'm not sure which one I do, but it's an accomplishment to knock that out, as most people will tell you that have tried or are trying. It has a way of messing with you. You get to a certain point with those high numbers, and the dealers, they literally hold all the cards there, because they can get whatever they want for mediocre graded comments. So that's that. 70 was fun. 70, 79, 72, 70, and 69 I did complete at the National. 1970, last card of that was the Ron Santo, which I was able to run from one table to another to get, because one dealer who was completing a set there to sell told me where he got his and that there was 2 when he bought his, so that there was 1 left. So I made my way to the other side of the hall and got that. 69, kind of a bland set, but that's a set that I completed. And when I say it completed these sets, it's not with the variations. They're not the master sets. There's a lot of shenanigans that go on with 72. I think 72 I might have the master set, but there's some shenanigans that go on here, especially with 69 and such. But 69, boring set, but that's done. I remember getting a Raleigh Fingers card at a card shop in Eugene, Oregon. I had been trying to get a Raleigh Fingers rookie card for a while out of the 69 set, but it was kind of difficult because it can be expensive, and it came close a couple times, but I rolled into this shop in Eugene, Oregon, and it looked like a modern shop. Beautiful new display cases, all that stuff. And I asked the guy, "Oh, you have any such and such commons, maybe 72s or 70s or whatever?" And he brought out a box of 72s. Then he brought out a box of 70s from behind a curtain, as a young kid too, probably 25 years old, and then 69s. And I got a bunch of 69s, and I saw the Raleigh Fingers in there. And long story longer, I walked out of there with a nice little chunk of cards for these sets, the Raleigh Fingers rookie that I was looking for, and a bunch of other really cool stuff like the 1960 Fleer. I ended up getting about a dozen 60 Fleer cards, all for pretty cheap, which was fun. That's the way it should be. Every card shouldn't be, every card you buy should not be whatever the highest price listed is. So it's fun to have those little victories. You still spend some money, but it's nice to know that you kind of beat the system a little bit out there on the street. As many of you know, I hate the word comps. Comps mean many different things. Let's just sell a card for what you're happy with selling it for, And I try to do that with my own cards on eBay, sell it for what I'm happy uh, to get for it, not for what somebody else has already gotten for it, maybe. So anyway, that's that. 68 came across late, came across the line late in the year, finished that off at the Philly show about a week and a half ago. Uh, Went into the Philly show with about 40 cards left to get. I went in there on Friday, and I had, I think, 20 something of the 1958 tops to get too, as well. So, walked out of there pretty proud of that on Friday. I ended up getting a Roger Maris rookie, which can be a dicey proposition, and 58 Mickey Mantle, red field, yellow stars, blue moons, green clovers, all-star card that really, you know, I kind of have a infatuation with because it's everywhere, yet it's triple printed, yet it's still a three-figure card, and it drives me crazy that it is. But I justified the expenditure of a Roger Maris rookie card and this dang triple printed mantle card. I ended up getting a nice package deal on that, which offset my ill feelings or ill will towards each of those cards for traditionally being overpriced. So I did well there, happy, and I came out with I think I knocked out 35 of the 1968 tops. So feeling pretty good, feeling pretty high on myself. I marched out of there, you know, chin high, all that junk. I spent the whole night wondering why I just didn't get the other 5 cards I needed for that set, for that 68 set. So, of course, the next day I went back there and I got myself the final 5 cards. And the last card was the Mickey. Last card was the Willie Mays number 50 card, which is when you're trying to finish a set, it's a tough one to finish with because, we know how 68 is the condition, but it's also tough to justify spending that kind of money on a late careered, a late career Willie Mays card. And I was able to get a nice card in really good condition for a really nice price. So I got lucky there. I looked at a couple semi beaters or whatever, and ended up being real happy with this card that I got. So 68 was done. Hard part of that was done a while ago. The bench rookie, like I said, in the National, the Mantle card I probably got in the late 90s. The Nolan Ryan card I made in probably one of the most bizarre deals in sports card history in the summer of 2021. So 68 is done. Where do I go now? I don't know. 58, 17 cards left in 58, I guess. And this is, again, not the master set. So maybe it's the 58. Maybe it's the 66 or the 67 tops. But we know that the high numbers there will also make a man cry. So we'll see what happens. I'm also exactly 100 pieces of cardboard away from finishing the 53 top set. So who knows where we head from here. Point is, these sets that I completed kind of have the DNA of a lot of people, a lot of shows, a lot of card shops, and my own collecting from when I was a kid. So, I was kind enough to have people like CooterLev send me some 68s. My boy Lee Champion always tagging me on posts for 68s on the internet that were for sale. And that's the kind of thing, that really makes card collecting great. My sets, 68 bench national, 68 Mays, the Philly show, a bunch of comments from certain friends and people looking out for you. So just wonderful thing that it's a culmination of many years, many situations, and many circumstances, which is what the dang hobby is all about. It's not about this card, how quickly I can get rid of this card, how quickly I can get this card. It's about the stories behind the cards, and a lot of times the people on the cards themselves as well. So it's about adapting, Right. It's about opportunity. It's about learning, and whether it's learning about baseball going from 70 to 69 to 60 to 67, 58, 53, whatever, going back to candy cards and tobacco cards and all that stuff. That's going deep, or you can go wide. Uh, Other sports, non-sports, stuff like that. So that's what's great about this hobby, truth be told. Uh, Fun opportunities along the way this year. I have many, many, many thousands of cards, 80s and 90s basketball cards and football cards, pro sets, hoops, skybox, Fleer, tops, whatever was made of these other sports. I have a lot of it from the 90s. So putting together sets there, but oddly enough, up until this fall, when you buy collections, a lot of the good meat is picked from the bone. So didn't have many Jordans. So I ended up buying a box of Jordans for a nice price, really, really nice price. That essentially gave me, I guess, about 185 of the Jordans that I had been missing in from that era, from the 80s and 90s, all penny sleeved and top loaded and all that stuff. So I was able to buy that box, process what I needed, and then sell the rest for a nice little multiple above what I paid. And the money part isn't the fun part, but the fun part is now I have these many, many Michael Jordan cards that were missing. And again, that's opportunity. So you never know what you're going to find or where you're going to find it. But it was fun. That was like one of those big moral victories that I had this year. Some of the cards were nice. I'm not going to lie. There's some nice cards in there. I thought I was getting closer as I went back in the box. And we finally topped out at, we were getting back into the 80s, and I'm going through the top loaders, and we topped out at 87, 88, unfortunately. So no 86, 87 stuff in there, but a nice 87, 88 Fleer sticker was in there. So, yay for me. Not that I'm huge on the basketball, but I do think Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Again, opportunity, adapting, and learning, right? Learned a lot about some of these Michael Jordans, which is pretty dang cool, if you ask me. Um, Talk about the shows, right? Went to some big shows, including the National in Dallas and Philly. I went to small shows, places like Indiana and stuff like that. Shows are great. There's nothing like a show, whether you're a solo act, a team player, whatever you're doing there. Shows are fun. You kind of get lost in your own world, or if you want, you can meet new friends. I found that most dealers like to talk and will talk, which is surprising considering how many people come up to them during the course of a show. So these dealers, I really do commend them. Very difficult. It's fun watching men, women, husbands and wives, wives and husbands, kids and dads, kids and moms work together at some of these tables. I've met a lot of people um, the last couple years at tables, which I really, as somebody who doesn't necessarily consider them themselves an outgoing person, it's they've put me at ease at times, and they also give you your space when you need it as well. So I really appreciate the dealers at the shows. Some of them are curmudgeons. Few of them will tell you they're having a great show, but that's part of the charm and the allure of these folks. Very few, there's very few endeavors where you'll find so much knowledge in one place, and that's usually at a card show, whether it's the collectors or more importantly the dealers. And when a dealer knows their table, it's just absolutely amazing. It's an amazing thing to watch and learn from these folks as well. So for that, I'm appreciative of being able to talk to them and learn from them and their patience that they have shown to me as well. Again, whether you're doing it by yourself or whether you're attacking it like a team, I had a fun time at Dallas with John Newman and Mike Moynihan. running around the show floor after we had already probably each done 3 or 4 laps on our own. It was fun doing it together, and stuff like that is good to do every now and then when you're a lone bird like I am. Hobby. I talk about the hobby being drunk. I think it's starting to sober up. I mean, that may sound a little weird, but I think we're starting to learn from some of the stupidity that perpetuates in the hobby, and I see that kind of slowing down a little, thankfully, and it's going to happen with any entity that's gone through a huge growth spurt. It's kind of like watching a giraffe be born, or a little baby deer, a baby doe being born, and a fawn, I guess you would call them, and not being able to walk and all that. That's how the hobby feels at times. Still have a little bit of a problem. When I say little, I still have a massive problem with the money grabs that happen. I think the hobby is wide open to be exploited, unfortunately, but it's also there's opportunities there for people to improve the hobby and make money. So I hope that that is the case. I'm pretty fed up with money grabbing entities coming in and trying to wring every last dollar and not leaving any kind of positive impact behind. There's many things that we don't need in the hobby. There's many things that do need to be improved. So hopefully we can find that balance, whether it's technology or uh, human intelligence, to figure out how to make the hobby better without necessarily it being all about the almighty dollar. So hopefully we're sobering up there a little bit, but I like to say my first instinct or my first reaction is there's way too many products, but maybe there's the right amount of products, and obviously we're not supposed to buy each and every product. We're supposed to buy the ones that suit us. I appreciate Heritage, I appreciate Archives, and some other ones, but many are not for me. So maybe I'm supposed to buy 3 or 4 of them. Somebody else is supposed to buy 4 or 5 of them. Another person is supposed to buy 2 or 3, and maybe that's how the hobby will grow. Not everybody buying everything, but more people buying, kind of sticking to their own little 3 or 4 game plan there, or product plan, and maybe that's what we need to teach each and every of these new collectors. As I've learned myself, the epiphany that I had, that I just explained, that I don't need to partake in every product, in every sport. So maybe if we kind of convey that to some of these newcomers, that just get what you want, don't get what you think you have to get to make somebody else happy. So we'll see what happens there. But that's kind of a shift in um, my own kind of collecting spirituality. I don't need to maybe there aren't enough, maybe there's the right amount of products. We just need to stick with what we want to stick with instead of worrying about some of those other products. And I said, when I say we, I mean me. That's who I'm talking to. Um, that's who I'm talking to when I say that. So where from here do we go in 2023? Well, I personally hope to meet more people, talk to more people, on my terms, which means please, if I back off, don't be offended. It's me. But I'm just a I'm just a guy who likes to meet people and then back away a little. So hopefully I can meet a lot of you folks and enjoy some some spirited collecting and stuff like that. And like to hear more. I like to send cards to people. I like to talk to people. I like to look at a card and say, "Boy, so and so would like this," and send it to them. So the more people I know, the uh, more I can do that, which is kind of gratifying to me. So hopefully, I can meet more of you folks. Don't be shy. Reach out to me and all that stuff. So I had, I talked about the 58 set, talked about the 53 set. We'll see where we go in 2023. Two things that I was able to do in 2022, which was awesome, was picked up a pair of Goudy Lefty Groves. At the National, I got a 34 Lefty Grove. Unfortunately, that's a Boston Red Sox card, but I do like the Red Sox. I really wanted a Philly A's card, so at the Philly show on the last day after getting those 5 remaining 68s, I was able to get myself a 33 Lefty Grove Goudy Philadelphia Athletics card. So that made me happy. Probably try to go more down the Lefty Grove route as I go along here in 2023. There's a lot of that old stuff out there, which is pretty cool. Also, I will not abandon my boy Carl Michael Yastrzemski. So I'm looking forward to also expanding that collection. Most of that is oddball stuff. As we know, we have the glossy, shiny new stuff, which I've been fortunate enough to either be able to buy from friends or friends send me. But there's also that odd vintage stuff out there. And that is a plenty from Yaz's playing days. So stuff like the puzzle test pieces, the large decals from '74 and stuff like that. OP cheese, Venezuelans, all that stuff. So I hope to keep going into that well in 2023. Don't know where I'm going to put everything because it seems like all the Yaz stuff I've been getting lately seems to be an odd size. So see what happens there. Mantle All Stars. I need some Mickey Mantle All Stars. Not a lot of them, but I know I need the 1960 All Star, all that stuff. So I'm going to try to get some of those oddball Mickey Mantle Topps cards, regular issue cards, but just ones that he appears on multiplayer cards or All Star cards. Looking forward to that. I do need to get the start someday on the Bowman Mickey Mantles, and obviously 55, 54, 53, 52, and 51. Be nice to get some of those bad boys in my possession. So we'll see what happens there. Also, my Hank Aaron stuff, I need 61 through 62 and 63, 64 as well. So early 60s, my Hank Aaron collection kind of went south there. I have all the 50s, but I don't know what happened in the early 60s. So maybe I can knock out 61 through 64 and all that fun stuff. And then, work on those 60s sets as well, I guess. I think I just bought a lot with a bunch of 60s cards in it. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe I can kick that thing in the manhood and get her done. So, that's how I'm approaching 2023. I will continue to seek out and receive opportunity when it comes my way, whether that's Facebook Marketplace, whether that's the Honey Hole that I go to that is not really a sports card store, but very it's been very prolific in the amount of cards I've been able to procure there. My LCS, who he's a hardliner, he has his prices and he sticks to them. He's running his business, so I get that. But I continue to hit card shows, continue to hit card stores, and just keep on looking. And in between there, I guess I'll try to make some content that may entice some of you folks into tuning in, talking about the '70s and stuff like that. Again, I have some plans for the near future. I have some things lined up. I hope that I can get that done sometime in the coming weeks. I may or may not be broadcasting anything for the next couple weeks, but hopefully January 2023, we come out of the gate roaring and poised to tickle your ears with fun facts, drunk uncles, all sorts of fun stuff that maybe we did not know, but we learned together. So that's that. That's my end of year, the EOY of 2022. I appreciate the long listen. It's only been 30 minutes, but I appreciate you folks listening. And can't tell you how much I appreciate the support and the friendship from those who I have met and corresponded with. I really admire and appreciate the amount of content, those who make the content, the amount of collectors that reach out to me and the knowledge that they have. And it's really been fun learning from all of you. And I wish, of course, I wish a wonderful holiday season to all, whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate, wherever you celebrate, and whenever. And, it's all about being safe and all that fun stuff. I was able to receive, speaking of that, some wonderful, wonderful gifts from my couch people friends. Obviously, we have the Mossy Claus behind me. I got a Dick Allen card, a 74 Dick Allen card, which is already in the binder, and a note from Scott that said, "Oh man, I'm on the wrong team," and that was Dick Allen in the Chicago White Sox uniform. He is in my binder right now. As is tradition, if I receive a card that I already have, it goes in the binder anyway, becomes a duo along with whatever was in there before. So I appreciate that. Jenny sent me an awesome Reggie Jackson card and a series of MSA blankback discs. Greg Lozinski, Dave Cash, and Larry Boa. Mark Hoyle, who is my spiritual leader here in the collecting field, has been very kind, sending me several things, including he recently sent me a Steve Carlton magazine, which I bought. It forced me to buy a plastic bin with hanging folders that I have in there. So all the magazines that Mark has sent me over the past couple months they're in there. They're in plastic. Everything's all good. So I'm happy about that. Just a wonderful, wonderful reminder of how great people are in the hobby and how great the history of sports is, and whatever we collect, whether it's pop culture stuff or any other thing. The history is what always captivates me, and I appreciate it. Everybody, have a wonderful holiday season. If I can be of any assistance to anybody, if you need a designated driver in the hobby, reach out. I'm your guy. I'll sober you up real quick. Can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I want to thank again for joining me as I took a look back on my collecting journey in the last year or so. If you have any comments or suggestions, that is, I put 3 G's in that, suggestions. If you had any comments or suggestions, perhaps you have a set from the 70s you'd like to hear more about, or maybe not, please reach out to me at ThatSeventiesCardShow@gmail.com. That 70s Card Show on YouTube, or 70s Card on Twitter. The music is by my nephew, the leader of Mango Safari, or the former leader of the former Mango Safari. Ryan, thanks so much for that music. I appreciate it. 2022 is over. Enjoy collecting, and more importantly, enjoy your collection. Folks, be safe. Give Santa a big kiss for me. Thanks. Bye.